at 17, I went home. I come off the road, and I got a house. And within 2 weeks, I had everything that I had acquired from 14 to 17 stolen. And at that point, I figured to get my equipment back, I would go to the factory because it was a quick job to get, and it was a well-paying job. When the thought came to get back into the industry, my mom was like, "Boy, you better keep that job. You got a good job, good benefits, and that kind of stuff." But on the assembly line, all I could think of and do was write music. So I eventually, during one of the plant closings, I decided to just take the unemployment and get back into the industry. And the first year was hard. I was interning, as they would call it, for different studios around Detroit. And literally, I might have made maybe $1,000 that year. But I also lost everything. I lost the car. I lost the girlfriend I had at the time, the apartment I had. And there were points where I was by myself, and literally with tears in my eyes. And, everyone, even my mom was like, you should go back to the factory, you should do this and do that. But as soon as I got the first professional job and money started coming in, and then I got a platinum album and I sent it to her. She was like, "Boy, I always knew you could do it. Yeah, that's my baby." And I was like, "Well, where were you during those other times?" But I guess that's life.
Yeah, what is it about music? What do you think it is? I mean, you've seen so many professional musicians, so many professional audio people, students, wanting this path so bad. What are the rewards?
Well, I mean, it's something I teach the students or teach people now is to have confirmations. When I taught martial arts, they created belt levels, basically for Americans, so they could feel like they're progressing. And if you go over to Asia, you're not getting different color belts. You either stay or you don't. But they created this belt level to make people feel like they're progressing and advancing. So, I started to see how I can apply the same concepts to music or teaching. And one of the things is to look for confirmations that you're on the right path. That's your belt level. That's your thing to motivate you to keep going. And if you're not seeing a confirmation, then maybe you need to rethink things, not give up, but rethink and try something else or try it differently or, study a little harder, make sure you're in a place where lightning can strike. But you got to do it 100%. The thing is to not want to do something and then halfway do it and expect great returns. You got to give it 100% to me. Within the first maybe 8 to 10 months, I had probably worked with anyone else that I hadn't worked with in Detroit. I mean, the first 8 to 10 months was Stevie, Madonna, Earth, Wind and Fire, Bette Midler, Eric Clapton. I mean, it was just Starfield. We used to have these little recording tapes for your answering machine. And I wish I had kept it if I had thought, over time it'd be worth something.
The little mini.
Yeah, the little mini, But, it might be George Duke on there, Stevie Wonder, different things.
All calling you for work. All calling you for work.
I hadn't thought about it. It would be worth money now. But, it was those confirmations that I made it as I slept in my car or as I finally got an apartment and I had a blanket pillow and that answering machine and a cooler. It was those confirmations that I made the right decision. And maybe close to maybe about a year later, I met Marcus Miller, and that just opened up another door to, the Grammys and movies and stuff like that.
Do you believe that when you do listen to your calling and you do face those obstacles that are, we perceive are in our path, whether they are or not, that then abundance is attracted to you?
Yes, and I also feel that belief plays a role, and not just a belief in God or whatever you believe in, but belief in yourself and then belief in your talent. If life is a sine wave, right, there's the up and there's the down. And your belief has to maintain throughout that line that goes through, but it's easy to believe when things are up. But you got to really have that belief when things are down, when the jobs aren't there, when the phone is ringing, when nobody else believes. Because if you don't believe in yourself, then who's going to start to believe in you? for work or as a mate or as a team member. So in that down period, that's where faith, or that's where belief kicks in. It should be. And if you have that, then it's easier to have the faith on the up. But I'd say it starts with belief in, a higher power, or belief in you, or belief in your talent to create that abundance. And then to get ready for the opportunity. If you get ready, or you feel it's around the corner, I think you'll train, or you'll practice, or you'll read or study differently. Don't mentally tell yourself it's far away. If you tell yourself, well, I'm going to leave school and I'm going to be an intern and I'm going to eventually assist and then I'll be doing this. Okay, well, that sounds like a year or so from now. But if you add procrastination into that, it's even longer. If you add life into that, it's even longer. So tell yourself it's around the corner. So then today you'll train, or you'll study, or you'll practice something, and you'll actually be better sooner. You'll get to that point quicker. And just get ready, stay ready, and when the opportunity comes, you'll be ready. Otherwise, when it comes, you're not ready.
Well, I think that when you do tap into that belief, that positive belief system about yourself, that it can really work in any endeavor that you're interested in doing. I mean, you're seeing it firsthand in the music industry, but really if people have passions to get into real estate and flip homes, or I've heard lots, open a restaurant, there's lots of passions out there that people limit the beliefs that they can do it, or they can ever achieve it, or that they'll do it one day after they do these 5 million things first, kind of putting those obstacles in the way.
That when we're born, we believe we can be anything. And it's not until our environment or our family or our friends or life and time starts to change that. But if you keep that, that's the only thing that I see different from any legend that I've ever met and just talked to. The only difference is they never stopped believing. They believed in themselves, and when you see that, you'll start to see that childlike glitter, that sparkle in their eye. I mean, Michael, he shouldn't have hung around kids so deeply, but I understood why to a degree, because they still believe. They still have this belief in things. And I always love to look at people's childhood photos, because you see that belief. So, when people get older, they call it a dream or having a dream, but instead it should become a goal. Because I got a chance to talk like one-on-one, like we're talking, with Eric Clapton or Madonna